Hey, what's going on, y'all? Woo, I look good. Woo, spirit fingers, but I look good. Darn, spirit be giving me ideas of what to wear, and it come out better than I ever imagined. My higher self. Okay, if you don't know, I'm Shakir. Well, my spiritual name is Shakir, but my given name is Daquan. So if you get to know me and you love, and I love you, and I feel like the energy is there. So my name is Daquan Didi. Daquan Shakir Kirkland Sr. is my full name. Shakir is my spiritual name, and it's also the name that my grandfather has when he passed on. So I honestly am walking through him as well as Shakir. So I'm just getting to my death doula experience because I having trouble writing it, and I feel like Spirit's been saying, no, you don't need to write, you have to speak this. I have something to say, so I'm gonna just say it. My experience as a death doula on this journey has been a wild ride. I've been a death doula even before I was called a death doula or even knew that a death doula was. Even a word, title, position, a state of being, a professional state of being, or whatever the case may be. We only hear of palliative care or hospice care, the nurses or whatever, the doctors, but not a death doula. We only hear birth doulas. You know what I'm saying? That's what we always attain it to. So I have always been working with death, even when I was still afraid of death, when I was running away from death. It started at a young age when my grandfathers and a lot of my close friends have been dying, and I always wound up being the pallbearers in all of them. Even to the point of my grandmother, a lot of people that I love, I was their pallbearers, or I was visiting I was going to more funerals than I was going to parties. I mean, it was back to back to back. So fast forward into this community, as I got started meeting my mentor, Dr. Aditi Sekti, and I'm in this class, and she's in this class. I'm in this class, and I'm very, very spiritual. I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, tarot card reader, nurse, LPN, in school for phlebotomy at the moment, Reiki practitioner 1 and 2, massage therapy. I do it all. Social media influencer, a counselor. Just everything about me is healing. So I just knew this moment would come when I would get my first case, and I just didn't know when or how. I'm getting chills. So, or when or how when it would come, but it would come. And just when I had a moment, I had a client already in the morning for 12 hours because I'm a nurse, LPN. I had a client that I was doing every day. And when I got the call from my mentor, hey, we have a case, we have someone for you, and gave me the details, I was like, all right, I'll take it. I was like, I was saying to myself, am I ready? Am I ready? Am I ready? Am I born to do this? And of course, I went to tarot because I love speaking with myself. I love being with myself. I never thought I would get to this moment. Like this moment, I never thought I would get to, but this is exactly who my inner child seeing us being. So I am like, so, forgive me. But that was a moment for me and my inner child, because man, my birthday's in 8 days. No, my birthday's in 6 days, November 19th. My great grandmother just passed on 11/11, and I knew when she would pass. So I always had a keen sense of death, and death always loved me. Back when I was a CNA, I was in nursing school. How that came about, I got to get into it if I get into it, but I'm only going to do 10 minutes. But with this experience with Garfield, I'm gonna say his name because I know Garfield, because I don't know if I would make this public or not. But with Garfield, it was a lot for me. I'm gonna make this private. I'll make another one. because as I was going up there, it was like a ASAP. I was going at night and I was going into an area I'd never been. I was actually going into the unknown. So I was asking spirit for the signs, like, am I ready? Am I ready? Am I ready? And I was getting them, animal signs. And I was like, okay, just let me know if this is the right person, if I'm meant to be with this person, to be with this spirit that's ready to pass on. Am I the one? And as I was getting close to his house, it was like an Aesop fable. First, I would see deers running. Remind you at night, deers running, and then I would see a rabbit cross my path, and then I would see a geese. Okay, this is at night, but it's like it was dusking. It was around. You can still see the sun. The sun is up, but it's going down, sundowning. So the geese, as I get approached the geese, it flew away. It was like an Aesop fable. Um, Ducklings was everywhere. It was really out of an Aesop fable. And I was like, okay, I'm getting all these spirit animals. The rabbit is my spirit animal, the deer, and not only the deer, but she had her babies with her. So I was like, okay, cool. So I get there and I felt the spiritual, like, oh, like I was meant to be there. Go in, met the person, met Garfield or whatever, and he was shocked. He was like, who are you? And I told him who I was. I was Shakir, and he was like, "Who sent you?" I was like, "Well, Heidi, Heidi." I said, well, first, Heidi did, and then my mentor, Dr. Aditi Sekti, and Spirit brought me here. And then he had two other people with him. One was his nephew, and one was just a caretaker, and they both bowed, and they was like, oh my God. So instantly they felt relief. It took him the first minute he just was not registering. He was just, Heidi wasn't there. I was replacing Heidi. It takes a lot of, as I step in a spiritual place, it was like I could have lived here. Really, from beginning to end, all religions, everywhere. Buddha was everywhere. You can tell he's very spiritual, very, very spiritual. Like he was my kindred spirit. Like I was laying me to rest, to be honest. So, as the night proceeded, I'm only going to talk about the first night, but, he went into the room and he asked to speak with Heidi for over an hour as I'm sitting there or whatever. He just was not taken to me. As the nights went on, I knew he would pass really quickly. I had this keen sense, a keen knowing of if I step in a room somewhere, I know they would die or pass on or proceed to their next life very quickly with me if I step in the room. And honestly, that's what happened. I always said I love you at the end of the shift. I always made sure he loved me. I made sure he knew I love him. And it took him like a day for him to say it back. And things were going down. I was helping every way I can, helping the family. There's moments where I had to get the nurses together, get the family together, and remind them that he is dying. We are still living. So you have to allow him to process the best way that he knows how, because we all don't know what's going on the next level. We don't know what's going on beyond the veil, other than that we must pass over. We must leave our physical body. And who are we to judge or direct someone in their journey on how to process death and their new life, their new rebirth that's on the cusp of happening. So I love that man. It was really like me putting me to rest. There was moments where there was a moment where I seen his angel wings fly out. Honestly, I saw Archangel Michael come in the room. I seen Archangel Michael, and I know he governs over me. I know he watches over me. I'm getting chills and I'm getting hot right now. Um, it was just moments where I seen him decline, but he was there, but he was ready. And I knew the last time, within a week, he was gone. Last time I seen him was that Friday. He was gone Saturday morning, and it was under the Pisces full moon, super moon, I believe. So it was a lot of moments with my first death doula experience. They allowed me to have his blanket, this red blanket that I felt that it was mine. And I know he loved me because in his right mind, he told me he loved me. So shout out to Garfield, but this was an enduring, enlightening experience because I seen me in him. And I'm sure he's seen him and me. It was like a yin and yang. Even to this day, he's still here. I feel like he's my guardian angel. He's one of my guardian angels. He's walking with me. I'm getting chills right now because I know it's him. So yeah, that's my experience. I hope that suffices. But being a death doula is really my calling. It's who I am. I mean, look at me. I don't deserve to be in any hospital or anything like that. But I will be recognized. I will be legendary. I will be known as a death doula, and being with Garfield really solidified it. It really solidified it in that moment. So I hope that suffices. But yeah, I love that man. He helped me. It was like a soul contract. I was there to release him. We known each other in so many ways. Really just looking at his room and what he had and what he was doing, and how he, even to his last breath, he will not allow his body to determine how strong his spirit was and is. And so he always was independent. He done as much as he can by himself, and I was allowing him to. I was allowing him to just grieve. I was allowing him to enjoy himself. I was allowing him to determine what his happiness is. Because I always said, not always said, but I came to the realization a few days ago that it came to be on my deathbed, when I pass over, when I transition, and when they ask for my cause of death, I don't want them to put my actual cause of death. I want my cause of death to be happiness. I want to die happy. And that's what I continue to be. So when they say my cause of death, what is my cause of death? Happiness. And that's all the way real. And this really was enlightening for me. It really solidified what I was meant to do. A part of me really was released. I cried. I'm trying not to cry now. I don't like to. I keep things very private because even still now I have a problem with releasing. So it was because if I let people in, I don't think people will get me or understand me, or I just know I'm just different. And different is just an understatement. But I mean, I hope that suffices. The family done the best that they could in that moment. He done the best that he could in that moment. I did the best that I could in that moment, and I did not leave his side. Every minute, every hour, every day, I was there. I would leave from my one job and go straight there. Almost every day. I took a day off to try and get some rest, but that didn't help. But every time I left my one job, I would be there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and go straight from 8 p.m. I would be there at 9 and be from 9 to whenever. And be fully energized, be exhausted, but energized at the same time. Being up every 2 hours to check on him, to give him his medicine, because, again, I'm a nurse, so I can technically give him his meds, legally give him his meds. So I just learned in that moment all the things that I've been through in my past all led up to this. Me being a nurse, me going to get Reiki certified, me just being a psychic and a medium and a tarot card reader, and me acknowledging my spiritual gifts and the healing that I have that comes from within. It all led up to this moment, and all culminates in this pot that I'm stirring as a magician, as a high priestess, as a hierophant. What I do, I do magic, and it all led up to that. Led up to that moment. Yeah, so I see how everything worked out. Even with this person, how he's sitting, I see me. And with the King of Wands, ultra successful. So that's the best way I can put it about the situation, about my experience with death doula, as first time being a death doula, but I've been doing it for lifetimes, even as a CNA. Everyone on my team were dying, and I thought for a long time I had the hands of death and the hands of or the curse of death, because everybody I was coming across would die, professionally and personally. Anyone I would try and have a connection with or love eternally, internally, they would die, and quickly. Um, so death loved me, even though I wasn't loving death. I was running away from death. There were moments where I would wake up from my dreams, and be scared to death, because it'd be a dying dream. I'd be falling, or I would, like my past lives, I know when I died in the water, or whatever the case may be. It's just, let me stop. But that's my experience. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.